Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer Snow. I am the CEO and Executive Director of the Francis Clark Center. And welcome. I'm so excited seeing everybody in the chat. I saw Penelope from the UK and our friends from all across Canada, US, and probably beyond. So please share where you are, say hello. We're just so thrilled to have you join us for this very, very special, I'm calling it a launch party, early morning launch party for those of us on the West Coast, with the amazing co-editors of the incredible new publication, PianoInspires Kids, the amazing Dr. Sara Ernst and Dr. Andrea McAlister. I want to share that those of you that have already subscribed, your copies have been mailed out. And if you're a subscriber to the Piano magazine, which has a beautiful tribute this quarter to James Like, you also get a complimentary copy. So if you haven't had a chance to see the magazine, you'll get a chance to look at it in all its riches. About just over a year ago, we did a retreat at the center to brainstorm all the amazing things that we could be doing, needed to be doing, need to think about doing. And we had lots of sticky notes all over the walls, and in true creative fashion, we're coming up with all these amazing ideas and having these excited conversations. And Sara and Andy, who have children in the 8 to 14 bracket, said, we really believed in that sticky note that was about a children's magazine. And many of you know we had an NCKP year, and we were thinking, oh, there's so much going on. But they have driven it, led it, been passionate about it at every single step. Their excellence, the community they've brought together around creating this amazing publication. I know you're going to be so excited to discover more about it and to share it with your students. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thanks for coming to learn more PianoInspires Kids. We're excited to continue being in touch through our webinar series. And without any further delay, I want to hand this over to my two great colleagues, the Director of Teacher Engagement, Dr. Sara Ernst, Director of Digital Programming for the Francis Clark Center, Dr. Andrea McAlister, and co-editors of the marvelous PianoInspires Kids.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for that wonderful introduction. Like Jennifer said, I'm Andrea McAlister, and who you'll be hearing from soon, Sara Ernst. She was just on my screen and then she left. So we'll be hearing from her more soon as well. So we are so excited to launch PianoInspires Kids, a print publication designed for today's students. There are young, inspired pianists all around the world, and this magazine will help them discover an amazing community of musicians who share a love of the piano. PianoInspires Kids aims to bring their stories and inspirations to others. Readers will find unique, engaging content, musical ideas from other students, and opportunities to submit their own content. It's important for students to see themselves and their peers represented in this magazine, as we build a global community of young music makers. As parents, Jennifer mentioned that Sara and I are both parents of kids around this age. We know how much our families value high quality magazines and materials that are engaging and help our children learn more about the world around them. And as teachers, we also value these materials as they serve as curricular resources for our studios. When creating PianoInspires Kids, we wanted to bring the most engaging content to students, but we also want to serve the needs of teachers. So let's hear from one teacher who we all know and love talk about how he plans to use PianoInspires Kids in his studio, Marvin Blickenstaff.
Hello, everyone. Just about the time that you think the Francis Clark Center has covered all the bases of what they can do to support good piano teaching with conferences and periodicals and publications and webinars, they came up with another great idea, and that is to have a magazine for our students. When I heard about that, I just let out a big yelp and I said, yes, that's exactly what my kids need in my studio. And so here we are with a magazine just for piano students called PianoInspires Kids. It is just an amazing publication, and your students are going to love this. Every page, there are puzzles, there are games, there are articles. Each magazine has a theme. This first issue has a theme of music from Argentina and Argentinian composers, pianists. You're going to love this, and your students. What I did was to send off immediately a subscription for PianoInspires Kids for all of my pre-college students. And I can't wait until those copies arrive and we can delve into them. We'll use it in class. We'll use it in our private lessons. They'll take it home and study. I can imagine having little tests that I will formulate built on the content of the magazine. It's just wonderful. Thank you, Francis Clark Center. Thank you, the wonderful editors who are doing such a terrific job, so sensitive in the way they relate to children and children's interests. It's just going to make a great boon to our study with our children. I'm so excited about this. Send in your order right away.
Good morning, everyone. It's so wonderful to be with you here today to share about this magazine that Andy and I have been working on with a whole team of contributors here at the Francis Clark Center. So we wanted to start today by doing a big overview of what's going to be included in every issue. If we could please have the slides up, that would be so wonderful. Thank you. So in every issue, we're going to highlight 4 large activities: discover, explore, play, and share. And these are activities and verbs are chosen with purpose. When we discover, it's going to be different content, maybe different parts of music, different parts of the world, different composers. In the explore area, we're going to do deeper dives into some of the content where we really dig in and learn something new. In the play section, there's going to be, of course, music to play. There are going to be games to play. We'll have lots of different content that really aims to engage the students. And then share for our readers. We want our readers to be sharing with us. So this will highlight questions they might have, their own accomplishments. It might highlight other pianists as well who are sharing in interviews. You can see there the list on the screen of the varied types of content that we'll have. One of the things that I want to highlight is that we have really worked to vary the content for a very wide age group. So you'll see pages in the magazine that have graphical interest that will really pique the curiosity of our youngest learners, where there's pictures and little facts and little call-outs that often have little graphics that might make them say, well, why are there crutches on that page? And they then might read and dig in a little deeper. We also have shorter, more concise lists and timelines so that the younger readers or those who are just maybe paging through the magazine will get drawn into some of those shorter form content. And then we have deeper text where we have longer paragraphs where we really dig into the content. And so all of this has been designed with purpose so that we can really engage a wide age range of readers. I will also mention that we have been real purposeful to include a lot of different prompts and activities in the magazine so that students and readers are encouraged to take the magazine to the piano and try something out. So they're encouraged to go online and maybe do some more research. We also have curated in every issue videos of excellent piano playing. and music making, so that students and readers can grab their device and grab the QR code and pull up the video easily and hear a performance that is going to amplify and bring real music into the reading of the magazine. It's such a wonderful aspect of living in the modern day that we have so many resources at our fingertips. So one of our goals is to bring all that to our students and to our readers. The other thing that I will mention is that the issues are really curricular in design. We've really been purposeful about designing the issues so that it could be at the heart of studio projects. So there are themes there that could really be expanded and used for even group classes and projects within group structures, if that's something that you do within your studio. I can even imagine organizations and teachers groups using this as a curricular idea for deeper learning. And then, of course, there's the individual learning that we can all do. We were purposeful when we really thought about this publication of having actually something physical in our hands. Andy mentioned that we're both parents, and I really value having lots of materials around my house so that I can say, when my kids say, oh, I'm bored, I'll say, okay, go grab the magazine and read it. And so that we have a lot of that around the house. And so this magazine gives us a really wonderful musical outlet for that print publication in the home. So I'm going to turn it over to Andy, who's going to talk a little bit about the Discover section in detail.
Thank you, Sarah. So the first section of the magazine is the Discover section, and this is where you'll find really the theme of the magazine. This will feature articles on musicians, composers, and musical genres. We'll dive into the lives of composers, their influences, their travels around the world, their compositional styles. And like was mentioned, our first issue focuses on the music of Argentina. So students will learn about Astor Piazzolla and his transformation of the tango, the influence of the cueca and what that is on the music of Carlos Guastavino, and learn more about Martha Argerich and her many performances and honors. Like Sarah mentioned, we have QR codes throughout the magazine to take students directly to high-quality performances and listening examples. To deepen the listening, we also include listening guides. In the Autumn magazine, you can find QR codes and listening guides for a Piazzolla tango, a sonatina by Guastavino, and Martha Argerich playing a Scarlatti sonata. We also have an extensive listening guide for Ginastera's 12 American Preludes. So in addition to the biography on Ginastera, his travels, and the influence of the gaucho in his music, this listening guide gives students key rhythmic, melodic, and historical elements to consider while following along to the performance by Alejandro Kramaski, who is an Argentinian pianist and teacher. Alejandro shared his thoughts about the magazine with us in this video that we'll share with you now.
Hi, my name is Alejandro Kremaski. I teach piano in Colorado at the University of Colorado. This is my studio in Boulder. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about PianoInspires Kids and to encourage you to check it out. It's a new publication for kids 8 through 14 by the Francis Clark Center. And it's a wonderful, wonderful resource, unlike anything that's in the market right now. It's really so unique and so rich. The first issue came out a few weeks ago in the fall of 2023 and was completely dedicated to the music of Argentina, which is the country of my origin. I grew up there. I had the pleasure of being interviewed for that number. It was such a pleasure to share my story and my background. The magazine also features some material I wrote about the music of Argentine composer Alberto Ginastera, as well as a lot of background about the music in general. So I expect that future winter issues will be equally interesting and resourceful. And I encourage you to subscribe and to also encourage your young students to subscribe. This is really a unique publication that will create a sense of community and will give you lots of wonderful things to address and to teach in your teaching. Thank you.
Thank you to Alejandro. Our winter issue will focus on the music of Florence Price, and we'll dive into her background music and present a detailed listening guide of her piano sonata in E minor, which will be performed by Karen Walwyn. Many contributors helped with the content in this issue, but let's hear from Asia Passmore, who helped us with Price's biographical content.
Hi, my name is Asia Passmore, and I'm currently a doctoral candidate at the University of Georgia, where I study piano performance and pedagogy. And I'm so excited to talk about this upcoming issue of the children's magazine. So I contributed to the winter issue, and that issue is going to be about Florence Price. I read a biography of Florence Price, and I talked about her life, her work, and her career as an African-American composer and teacher during the time in which she lived. I highly recommend this magazine as a resource for your students and also for you as a teacher, whether you're an independent teacher or you teach in a studio or in a public school. No matter where you teach, I highly recommend this. And I also recommend this as a great opportunity for your students to submit their own writing pieces for this magazine. If you're interested in subscribing or having your students submit, please go to kids.pianoinspires.com/submit.
Thank you to Asia, and we're really excited about the winter issue, and so you'll see Asia's content being represented there. So that's our Discover section. Let's take a look at Explore. In these pages, your student will get a different perspective on music through a social, historical, and geographical lens. It's here that they'll learn the steps to dancing a tango, and I hope you all get out this page and dance the tango in your studios. You'll explore the geography, history, and landmarks of Argentina. In the upcoming winter issue, you'll learn the history of jazz and blues. You can read about music in the news and get ideas from students and teachers in our how-to section. Let's hear from Heather Smith, who will be contributing a how-to article in the Explore section of the winter issue.
I am excited to share about the new PianoInspires Kids magazine. This magazine is filled with inspiration for your young students. In the upcoming winter 2023 issue, I was invited to write about silent films. Included is a how-to element to help guide students on recreating the magic of silent film scores on the piano. It's an opportunity for your students to delve into a unique aspect of music history and to express their creativity. PianoInspires Kids is packed with stories, interviews, and musical ideas from across the world. So if you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe to PianoInspires Kids. I personally look forward to sharing a subscription with each of my students. This magazine will help nurture your students' passion, their creativity, and their love for music.
So next, let's dive into the play section. If we could get the slides back, that'd be so helpful. So in the play section, we're going to have a lot of different activities. Thank you for the slides to deepen our experience in the magazine, to not only material that we can take to the piano and learn, but also material that we can use to deepen our understanding of rhythm, for instance, or deepen our understanding of meter. So in our first issue, we have a 2-page spread that's devoted to this very topic with examples that encourage students to clap out loud, to count. You can get out your pencils and fill in different aspects of the counting. There's creative ideas for different ways of counting to engage our learners. And in addition, in the play section, we'll have tips for practice. In our first issue, we have how to create a practice journal. With a multi-step process and different ideas for creative ways to engage your students with writing and documenting their practice. An important aspect of this magazine is, of course, going to be new music. So in our first issue, we have a page that was created by Luis Sanchez. We'll hear from him in a minute, in addition to activities that expand that composition at the piano into creative activities like transposition and creating new accompaniments. Now, one of well, I shouldn't say my favorite features, but I love the feature is our quiz. In every issue, we'll have a quiz at the back of the magazine that encourages our readers to see what they remember. Now, what I've observed in my own home is that my children, well, and my husband will actually go to the quiz and see what they know already, and then they'll discover something they don't know, and then they'll try to find the answer. So I love that aspect of the quiz because I think not only is it encourages deep reading of the magazine, it'll also just engage that sense of recall and curiosity in our readers. In addition, our games, of course, get out your pencils because they're going to be mazes and word searches and other brain teasers as well. So the play section is really using the moniker of play in a very broad way, not only play at the piano, but to play games and puzzles as well. So I would love to share a couple of videos with you. First, of Luis Sanchez, who contributed the new music to our very first issue.
Hello, my name is Dr. Luis Sanchez. I'm professor of piano at Texas A&M University of Commerce, and I serve as Director of International Engagement for the Francis Clark Center. I come to you today to share my excitement about a new publication of the Francis Clark Center that's PianoInspires Kids. This is an interactive magazine for young pianists ages 8 to 14 and is packed with fun activities to discover, explore, play, and share all things related to piano. This inaugural issue centers around the music of Argentina, my home country, and I was honored to be invited to contribute to it. If you turn to page 12 when you get your magazine, you will find Arroz con Leche, which is rice pudding, a very popular folk tune from South America. And you will also find all these fun activities to explore these different musicianship skills. If you have students working on ensembles, you can follow the link and download a 6-hand lullaby I composed based on this tune. I encourage you to subscribe to this amazing publication and have your students participate with their contributions by visiting kids.pianoinspires.com/submit.
Oh, it's so wonderful to hear from Luis, and I hope that all of you go onto our website and find that 6-hand version for your students and inspire some creative playing in your studio of that 6-hand arrangement. Our students don't always get to play in ensembles, and so we thought it would be a wonderful way to get groups of students making music together on that piece. And then, of course, there is the solo version of it in the issue as well. So next we're going to hear from our very own Chi Hua Tan, who will give us some great insight into the use of PianoInspires Kids.
Hi there, I'm Chi Hua Tan. I'm a composer, pianist, and teacher in Colorado Springs, and I'm also a member of the Board of Trustees of the Francis Clark Center for Keyboard Pedagogy. You know how students love subscriptions? Well, the new PianoInspires Kids magazine supports their musical journey with enrichment and on fun topics and trivia that we never have enough time to cover. I love the practical tips on having a practice journal and the global exposure to the culture and music of Argentina in the very first issue. Can't wait for the next one. I would even get this as an adult for myself. In the spring issue, look for a composition from me that encourages students to create. It is only available in this magazine. Another aspect is that students get to be active contributors. They can submit in multiple ways at kidspianoinspires.com and be a part of a large community of piano peers. How cool is that? I'm getting a group subscription for my students. So fun and worth it. Join me.
So I'll just reiterate that we will be delighted to hear and see Chi Huatan's music in our spring issue. We're very excited that she is going to be contributing to that upcoming issue. And she gave us a great segue to our next section, which is Share. As Andy mentioned in the opening, it was really important to us that we created this magazine not only for young pianists of today, but with them. And so we really want to hear from our readers and highlight the creativity, the musicianship, and the ideas of all of our readers. And so the Share not only features student submissions, we also have a Q&A that's designed to answer those questions that often curiously pop out in a lesson in a moment of spontaneity. And so students can go onto our website and ask us a question that we might then use as a launching point for a future issue. We also have a poll in every issue where we lay out a question to encourage critical and self-reflective thinking. In our very first issue, our question is, should we practice in one sitting, or is it better to practice in multiple sittings a day? And so students can read on that page the pros and cons of both approaches, the ideas that might inform them in making a decision on which they think is better or which they prefer. And then please get them to go onto our website and vote. The great part of this is then in the next issue, we're going to feature the response of our readers. So in every issue, there will be a little pie chart that shows what the thoughts of our readership were for the last issue. So we can look into the winter issue to see how everyone felt about this practice question, whether or not to practice in one sitting or multiple sittings. Now, the other aspects of our Share is that on our website, students are going to be able to submit their performances and their thoughts and their creativity. We have PianoInspires You, where students can share about their own musical accomplishments, and we're going to have a lovely feature in our winter issue where we share some of those accomplishments. And also PianoInspires Artistry, where we'll actually get to hear young pianists from around the world playing piano and sharing what's most exciting and meaningful to them about their pieces. So we wanted to highlight in this webinar to show our commitment to this aspect of the magazine. We wanted to highlight a couple students who will be featured in upcoming issues. So we're going to start with Varsha's video, where she talks about how important this magazine is to her.
Hello, my name is Varsha. I am really excited that my achievement will be in the next issue of PianoInspires Kids. I am proud of my achievement because it made me feel good about my playing. I felt like I played very well when I played in Carnegie Hall. I think this magazine is going to be really fun for the kids because it has a lot of new music and a lot of new composers for us to learn about. I hope that all of the other kids will submit their poetry or their achievements to the magazine.
As Varsha suggested at the end of her video, we also are going to highlight the broad creativity of young students and readers from around the world. So not only are we looking for students to submit their performances and their ideas about piano playing, they can also submit poetry about music or artwork about music. And so this is a wonderful way to help our students realize that being a pianist is being a creative person, and that might inspire all forms of creativity. So next, let's hear Isabel talk about her poem that was featured in our first issue.
Hello everyone, my name is Isabel and I am so proud that one of the poems I enjoy writing was published in the PianoInspires Kids magazine. I like the magazine because it gives us articles about composers we may not have known about, and also because it has interactive content. Everyone should be able to share their work and achievements, and the magazine is a great place to start. I hope other students submit poems or other work too.
The other thing I would like to mention in our share section is that many of our issues will feature what we're calling 5 questions with, where we get to know a little bit about a pianist from somewhere around the world. And I'll mention in our winter issue, we're going to feature Karen Walwyn, who is connected with the music of Florence Price and helping all of us learn and discover Florence Price's music. And so we are really excited to have this 5 questions with, so that our readers can get a sense of all the different pianists around the world and what inspires them and what brought them to the piano. And we are seeking to make these interviews very reader-friendly. For instance, asking about, did you like to practice when you were a kid? And so I think it's really fun to hear pianists reflect also on their family life and their life as a young pianist. So I've mentioned several times our website. And we've got some links going into the chat box as well, so you can take a look at those. On our website, we have a submission page where there are multiple links to different JOT forums encouraging submission from all of you, your students. And these submission pages include the submission page that's here on the screen includes a variety of different ways that students can engage and submit their ideas, whether that be to a poll or whether that be to the submit a question. They can also submit a video. We will have in addition to these options, students can submit their performances of the music from the issue. So I'm going to click back here in the slides here just to show a couple of those items here. I think we've got a link in the chat where you can find the 6-hand version. And so students can find all of that on our submission page and our Explore page on our website. So I will turn it over to Andy, who's going to go over our website a bit more and show how to use the various features.
Thank you, Sarah. Yes, our website contains a lot of additional information for students and teachers. You see here 2 items that are on our Explore page. So with each issue, we'll be posting new music and activities for students and teachers to engage with. Here you'll see a scavenger hunt for students to complete either on their own, or you could use it in a lesson, or even in group classes. I've heard from a number of teachers who have used the scavenger hunt in a group setting and have just said how much their students have enjoyed it. You'll also see here our new 6-hand piano ensemble based on the folk tune that Luis spoke of. So special thanks to Luis Sanchez for arranging this. It's absolutely beautiful. Speaking of new music, we would love to feature your students performing this new music. So on our submission page, there's a portal to submit performances of the new music in each issue. And all performances will be featured on our YouTube channel. So speaking of that YouTube channel, you'll see some of it here. And this has a lot of videos, but specifically our PianoInspires Artistry video series. This series is open to any and all students, and we encourage you and your students to get involved. In the recording, have your students tell us about a piece they are inspired by, and then give a performance. The performance can be informal, formal, memorized, with music. It doesn't matter. We just want to create a space in which students can share their love of piano music with one another. And students can go back to the page and see what new has been added and see maybe somebody played the piece that they played because they were also inspired by them. So let's hear a little bit of a PianoInspires Artistry video from Sophie.
My name's Sophie and I live in Columbia, South Carolina. The piece that I'm working on right now that really inspires me is the Clementi Sonatina Opus 36 No. 4. It's been really fun and challenging to work on a whole sonatina with 3 very different movements. The first movement has a kind of a sweeping lyrical melody, but a rhythmic left hand underneath that anchors it and keeps it from floating away. The second movement is slow, quiet, and almost hymn-like. It's restful but elegant. And then comes the third movement, which couldn't be more different. It's a mad dash, we're off to the races, fast and fun from start to finish. No time to breathe.
Thank you to Sophie for sharing that video. So as you can see, it took a lot of thought and poise to put together this video, but it's a great opportunity for students to showcase the work they're doing and maybe put a little bit more thought into the construction of their music and be able to communicate that with an audience. So you can go to kids.pianoinspires.com/submit to find all of the ways that your students can submit their videos, additional content, response to prompts, and questions to the magazine. And this summer, we hope to have a number of new videos and music added to the website as we showcase student compositions of fanfares to help us celebrate the Summer Olympics, which is the theme of our Summer 2024 issue, music and the Summer Games and how they intersect. I'd like to invite a special guest onto the screen to tell us more about it, Jason Sifford.
Hello, everybody. I'm very excited to be able to come visit and announce this composition contest. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jason Sifford. I'm a piano teacher and a composer. I live in Iowa. And composition has always been close to my heart. And I was very excited that PianoInspires Kids decided to do a contest for student composers. I'll give you some details of it. The rules are, we're all going to be writing fanfares. They're going to be for solo piano. They need to be between 16 and 44 measures in length. And we would like the submissions to include both a PDF of the score and also a performance video. Now, the performance video needs to be of the composer performing their own work, but we are going to let teachers help them create the scores. We want the scores to be computer generated because honestly, it makes it much easier for us to read. Winning compositions are going to be featured either in the magazine or online at kids.pianoinspires.com. The submission deadline is going to be March 15th. And this is also the age deadline. And so we have 3 different divisions. We have divisions for students ages 7 through 9, from 10 to 12, and from 13 to 15. I think all of this information is going to be in the next issue of the magazine. We also have it online. I think Anna back there is going to share, or Andrea did, the submission page. And yeah, we just hope that you'll encourage your students to compose some fanfares for us and send them in. We'd love to hear it.
We'd all love to hear it. Thank you so much, Jason. We are really excited to hear the student fanfares, and we are really excited to share this magazine with all of you here. As a special thank you for attending, we're giving you a promotional code, KidsInspire, which will be put in the chat, to receive 20% off your purchase. Use it quickly, as you have until Saturday the 14th before this expires. This does apply to U.S., Canadian, and international subscription. Go to kids.pianoinspires.com/subscribe to sign up. So thank you to all of you here. Thank you, Jason and Sarah, especially, and also to Jennifer, who we saw at the top. We really appreciate you coming today. I haven't seen any questions in the chat, but if anybody has a question that you want to type in really quickly, we would be happy to answer that. Otherwise, thank you so much, and go subscribe. We're so excited to share.
Absolutely. And I might add too that I really hope that you explore our website and especially the submit page, because we really do want to have a strong call out to all of you to get your students engaged through all of these opportunities to create their own videos, submit their accomplishments, ask us a question, and create a fanfare. I'll also mention that in our upcoming issue, we will have some ideas and helpful tips for how to compose and how to get started on that fanfare, so that your students can kind of get a little bit more motivation to get those ideas flowing. We are so excited to be doing this project and really appreciate all of your attendance today in the webinar, and hope that you visit the website, that you subscribe, take advantage of that special code, and we cannot wait to hear from all of your students. Get them creating those videos and creating those stories and send them to us. We really cannot wait to hear from your students. All right, Andy, are we seeing any questions in the chat at this point?
I saw a question about when things will be mailed. The first issue was just mailed to any subscriber who has subscribed before today. And if any of you subscribe in the next, like today or in the coming weeks, that will be sent in the second shipment, which will be coming towards the end of October.
Great.
Okay.
Well, thank you all for joining.
Somebody asked about the code again. It is, let me make sure. KidsInspire. Thank you, Anna, for posting that in the chat. KidsInspire is the code. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anna, as well, for running behind the scenes for us, and for all of our contributors who made videos for today. Right. Well, I guess we'll sign off. Thank you, Andy.